Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. Today, my guest is composer Suzanne Dawson. Her piece on the new National Federation of Music Clubs piano solo list is The Queen of Bees. You can find it in her book, Buggity Buglets. Welcome, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Sam.
So this piece is truly sweet and endearing. It has a really delicate, beautiful, sentimental, almost melody, a really lovely accompaniment, and sweet words to it as well. So talk to us a little bit about your piece, The Queen of Bees.
I've always loved, harmonies where you kind of move up and down the scale tones with the chords, the C major, D minor, E minor, and so forth. I've always loved things like that, and I love 3/time and 6/8 time. I've always been especially drawn to those time signatures. So I did want to write something that just kind of was very melodic and came out of my heart.
Well, it is a very endearing piece. And I think sometimes 3/4 time poses some challenges for some students. So how do you go about helping students to gain rhythmic accuracy when they're playing these pieces?
That's a very good question. So rhythmic accuracy, when you have the half note followed by the quarter note, frequently end up like 2 half notes instead, or 2 quarter notes instead. So that's really tricky. So what I end up having to do with my little kids, now I've given these pieces to adults too. So, and they, surprisingly, my beginning adults really like them. So I end up taking a marker, and I just draw a green line right after the half note so that they know that every green note they have to sit on, even before we add the metronome. And I usually start working with the metronome within a month of starting lessons for any age. So that's kind of what we do. So they get used to holding those half notes longer.
That is a great tip. So this piece has these very well-constructed phrases. How do you talk to students about shaping phrases and playing musically and drawing the music out of the musical line that's on the page?
Well, that, as you know, is really hard when they're trying to manage everything. Fingering notes, the counting, which really I think is the worst. It's the most difficult thing, rhythm. Beginning students have a really hard time with the rhythm. So once we have the rhythm down, then I have them sing the phrase. And then Dennis gave me a really cool tip one time where you look for the heart of a phrase. So he would draw a little heart, like, for example, over the top note, I would draw a little heart and say, I want you to go there and like you're sighing. So breathe in and sing and then breathe out. Take another breath when the next phrase. But I think singing with your music is a very good tool to work with.
Excellent. Those are excellent tips. And when you mentioned Dennis, you mean composer Dennis Alexander, is that correct?
I'm so sorry. Yes.
Very good. What a great tip that is, and what a neat thing that he shared that with you.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like us to know about The Queen of Bees?
Only that my students really love it. They love playing it with me. They love playing the duet.
It's a very sweet and endearing piece, and I can tell it's going to be a real favorite. It is just really wonderful. Suzanne Dawson, thank you so much for being with us today. My guest has been composer Suzanne Dawson. Her piece on the new National Federation of Music Clubs list is The Queen of Bees. You can find it in her book, Buggity Buglets. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Sam.